Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's have a look at this new laptop that was launched by Asus. And as you can see, this is a very different kind of laptop. Not only it has this screen, this is a touch screen, also works with stylus, but we also have one more screen over here, and this is known as the Asus Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED. And this is a pretty high-end machine, so let's have a look at this one. Again guys, this is a review on it, and Asus had sent me the highest end variant that comes with the Intel Core i9 processor. But this also starts with the Intel Core i5 variant, and I feel most of the users might be that's the more practical one. But let's have a closer look at this one now. So guys, this is the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED, and as you can see, we have a 14.4-inch touch screen, and also this works with stylus. But we also have this extra screen which is actually a 12.7-inch screen, and this is also a touch screen that we have. So this is the special thing. This is known as ScreenPad Plus. I'll go over that. And again, because of this layout, the trackpad is over here. The keyboard is again backlit. It's too bright, but yeah, it is there. You have 3 levels of adjustment, and this comes with Intel 12th generation processor. The one we have is the highest model that they have. I actually wanted the base variant, but they didn't have that for the review note, so sent us the higher end variant that comes with Core i9 processor. But again, as you can see, and one more thing you'll notice is that this part actually lifts up when we switch on the laptop. So this screen pad actually goes up, unlike earlier Asus laptops where the whole back used to raise up. That is not happening on this one. And before we proceed, the performance as expected is very good. But again guys, this is a OLED screen, and again this is having that glossy. I like the screen for what it is. It's actually a 2.5K screen with the 120 Hz refresh rate. Yes, even this is 120 Hz refresh rate. This is there. You can set it to 60 Hz, but I was using it at 120. So it's actually 2.8K OLED screen that we are getting, and it's a 16:10 aspect ratio. So again, it's a good size, and again it's a very color accurate. So even professionals for video work, color correction work can actually use it. One thing to notice that though this is an OLED screen, but the bottom screen is not an OLED screen. This is actually IPS LCD. And I asked Asus guys, why didn't they put OLED screen here? They told OLED screens are very glossy. If you notice, this would have reflected a lot of light. That's what they said. But yeah, that's what it is. And before we proceed, let me actually give you the ports and all this thing. Again, moving to the build quality is really good. It's metallic. It tracks a little bit of fingerprints, but in terms of build quality, solid. I don't have an issue. Let's talk about the ports. On this side, we just have the headphone port. Don't mistake this for USB ports. These are not USB ports. These are just vents to dissipate the heat. And actually this laptop, the specific variant that I have, can get actually pretty warm to touch even with light users, because this is having a Core i9 processor. I would say for most users, a Core i5 would be more than enough, because this one definitely gets a little bit toasty, I would say. We do have a micro SD card slot over here. It's a very fast one, but I wished they gave a full-size SD card here. We do have a HDMI port over here. Glad it's HDMI 2.1, not HDMI 2. So that's the latest. Again, a lot of vents. These are not USB ports. Most of the ports are on this side. We have a USB Type A port and 2 USB Type C port, out of which this one is actually a Thunderbolt port that you are getting, and some LED lights. So the ports are laid out everywhere. And when you open this up, let's just hit the power button. And for some reason, this unit, when I put like this, it's not going to sleep. It's just shutting it off automatically. And this will give you an idea about the boot time also from scratch. And it does have the Windows Hello IR system. And I have to just look and see it unlock. So again, the booting speeds and all these things are very fast, because it has a very fast SSD. I'll go over the specs, but to give you an idea, okay, this is your regular screen that you have, and the big thing with this one is this extra screen that you are getting. And I think so this is great for traders and stuff. You work a lot on stock market and all those things. You can actually use that and all those things. So where people take advantage of multiple screens and stuff like that. Even for coders, I would say that is a good thing. And for creative professionals, in fact, I would say this is a good option, because if you're specifically using Adobe suite of creative suites like Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere, etc., this bottom layer actually helps a lot and converts into that for those specific apps. So that way it's good. Now let's talk about the specs on this model. As I've told you, this is the higher end variant. And one thing to note is that if you see, this is something I do not like with this one. As you can see, we are not doing any task or anything, though I'm in the balanced power mode, not even the advanced. The fans do ramp up quite a bit. This is very peculiar because earlier, Asus Zenbooks that I have reviewed and tested, when I just used to do casual stuff like this, the fan used to be super silent, but here it does ramp up a little bit. That is something I have noticed on this one. But let's go to the CPU Z, and again, this is the beast of a machine that you're getting. The one that we have specifically, it's the Core i9 variant, 12900H, as you can see. Let me zoom in. And as you can see, guys, it's the Intel Core i9 12900H. This is actually the top end mobile processor that you are getting as of now from Intel. This is actually a proper 14-core processor with 20 threads. Yes, 20 threads, as you can see. Again, the main board is made by Asus. Memory, guys, the one that we have is having the maxed out 32 gigabytes of RAM. Again, to note that, again, guys, this is the higher end version that comes with a dedicated graphic card. That's the RTX 3050 Ti. You also get the base variant where you just have the Intel Iris graphics on that one, and I think so for most casual users that is actually good enough. But yeah, this is the top end model that comes with the RTX 3050 Ti. And as you can see, I have ran some benchmarks and it's on this screen. This is also a touch screen, so I can just click this. And again, that's what I told. It's good for multitasking. Okay, first thing is regarding the Cinebench, and I'm very impressed with this one. And again, this is also a touch screen, as you can see. So Cinebench, I was super impressed. Multi-core score 13,246, which is again insane score. And for single core, which is also very impressive, 1,824. This even beats my MacBook Pro 15-inch. So that way, very impressive score. But again, as I've told you, when I was running the benchmarks, the fans were ramped up, and it does put out a lot of heat. That is something that I've noticed. But in terms of performance, excellent. I also ran the Geekbench for CPU, as you can see, Geekbench 5. Very good scores, 1,693 on single core, multi-core almost 12,000, 11,923. So these are also excellent scores. I also ran Geekbench 5 because this one has the RTX 3050 Ti, and for CUDA we got a score of 62,972. Again, very good scores. And also I ran Crystal Diskmark to check the SSD. The SSD is super fast, as you can see, almost 5 gigabits, 5.8 gigabit transfer speeds that you're getting. So very fast SSD on this one. And in fact, you can upgrade the SSD on this one if you want. There is also one more bay that is there. You can add one more SSD on this one. So that way, in terms of performance, you don't have a problem. Again, as I've told you, you can move this, let's say the CPU I have over here from one window to another window, and all those things you can do. For example, we also have hotkeys. Let me just bring this back, and automatically resizes it like that. And you also have a hotkey like here. If I press this, it will move these stuff, whatever is at the bottom, to the top screen like this. That you can shut off this one if you want. For example, right now it's turned on. You can hide it, or I can just switch it off also. As you can see, we can switch it off. Let's say you're just doing a normal task, you don't need the screen, you can switch it off. Another small thing that I find interesting on this one, let me just switch it on. One thing, as I've told you, because the trackpad is here, this is a very unconventional place where the trackpad is there, because they didn't have a space. But you have a software setting. For example, with 3 fingers, if I tap over here, as you can see, this entire portion becomes the trackpad. So this was pretty cool, as you can see, and this works very well, as you can see. So it has all the gestures and all those things that you can make it. This is a gigantic trackpad also that you want. This is a new thing that I have noticed. Again, in terms of settings, this you can individually adjust the brightness of this bottom screen from here directly. As you can see, you can do all that things, and it also has a mini control panel from here where you can do further adjustments on this ScreenPad Plus. So I feel, as I've told you, if you are a person who uses both the screens, you were used to multiple screen setups. Okay, let's break it down between what I liked and what I did not like. Let's first talk about the things that I liked. And the first pro is this screen that we have. I'm talking about the main screen. That's a 14.5-inch screen. The OLED screen quality is excellent. It's very color accurate. So I have no problem recommending it for professionals or people who work with photographs or videos. It's very color accurate, Pantone validated, and all this while. In fact, you can also do color calibration with advanced tools if you have. It has built-in functionality for that. So that way, I would say it's very, very good. You don't have to worry about that. And I also like the fact that the screen is a 120 hertz refresh rate. Touch screen also works with the stylus also. And I like the fact that the bottom screen, the ScreenPad Plus, though it's not an OLED screen as I've told you, but again, this is also supporting a refresh rate of 120 hertz. So that way, in terms of screen, I don't have a problem. Next thing is speakers are actually pretty loud. In fact, way louder than most laptops. In fact, if I keep the volume level at 50%, it is almost as close to 100% on many laptops. But what I notice is that with the default calibration, sometimes when I'm keeping the volume about 70%, when there is a lot of bass, because by default the speakers are very, very bass heavy. So if there is a track or something that has a lot of bass drums, it is crackling the sound a little bit. Maybe I don't know if it's just to my unit, but that is something that I notice. Maybe they can fix it with a firmware update. Next thing is regarding the SSD. As I've told you, it's a very fast SSD. I also like the fact that it's having a HDMI 2.1 port, not HDMI 2 like many laptops, even high-end laptops got HDMI 2, but this is the latest HDMI 2.1. Now let's talk about some of the things that I did not like. I've made some pointers. Okay, as I've told you about the speakers, that crackling at higher volume when there is bass heaviness, that is something that I noticed. Battery life, I don't know, this might be just because of the Core i9 processor. We know that this processor is a very power hungry processor, and battery life that I'm getting is strictly average, though I was using it with the ScreenPad Plus screen, hovering just about 4 to 4.5 hours. And I think so that is because of this model that has the dedicated graphic card. Maybe if you go with the base variant, and again, the base variants, guys, actually don't have the dedicated graphic card, but they get the Intel Evo certification. And if a laptop gets Intel Evo certification, that generally has very good battery life. But at least on this higher end variant that we have right now, battery life is strictly average, 4 to 4.5 hours that I am getting. Lastly is regarding the webcam. Still in the age of 720p webcam, though it's a super high-end laptop, why aren't Asus giving a 1080p webcam? And also moving to the Type-C port, the Type-C port does support charging. You can charge your laptop even with this one instead of the big brick 180 watt brick that you get, but the charging as of now is restricted only to 65 watts maximum charging. I wished they had kept it up to 100 watts like most of the laptops. So these are some of the shortcomings of this laptop. I have actually written down a summary because I feel this laptop is for a specific segment of users. So let me read about this. Okay, if we talk about the pricing, this fully loaded version that we have comes with the Core i9, all the bells and whistles, 32 gigabytes of RAM with the Nvidia RTX 3050 Ti. This is almost 2,25,000. But gladly, the base variant that comes with the Intel Core i5 processor without the dedicated graphic card starts at 1,45,000. And for that one, I feel is priced really well because you're still getting that gorgeous OLED screen, the ScreenPad Plus, and all those features, and that should actually give you a far better battery life. I would personally opt for the base variant that comes with the Core i5 processor because these new 12th generation Intel processors are actually very, very powerful. In fact, even the Core i5 variant performs much better or close to the earlier generations of the Core i7 processor. So I don't have a problem going with even the Core i5 variant, and also that will get a little bit more better battery life and less fan noise, I feel. This is not a laptop if you are a hardcore gamer. Yes, you have the Nvidia RTX 3050 Ti graphic card, but if you're sort of a hardcore gamer, then in Asus own lineup, I feel you have better gaming laptops like the Asus Strix series or even the G series of laptop, the G14 and the G15. This is specifically for people who want to use and take advantage of the dual screen. For example, like traders, if you are active in stock market and stuff, that is there. Also, if you're a programmer or something and you have were using a second screen, then it will help. And also for creative professionals, specifically I would say for creative professionals, if you're using Adobe apps, the Adobe apps are optimized to take serious advantage of the second screen. So I would say this is a niche kind of a laptop, but certainly an interesting laptop for certain segment of users. So guys, that was my overview about this Asus Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED. What do you guys think about the same? Do let me know in the comment section below. Anyways guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you you in my next video. Take care, guys.